of your contribution there? Because I don't know, and I'm just kind of curious.
My contribution's pretty mild as it turns out. I listen to what's going on. I'm on the executive staff, and I give my comments where the company should go in some business terms based upon a lot of experiences I've had with companies, and I give ideas of products and technology, and I suggest certain ways that I think that pop to my head, sometimes sleeping, sometimes in the shower, of ways to maybe make the NAND flash chips last longer, have a little more endurance. And usually it's
hotline in the shower. You're like, I just thought of something.
We've got some great engineers, and usually, oh my gosh, that's something we thought of just recently, and so I'm on the right tracks all the time.
Right. So you're kind of like you're like a dreamer there. You're sort of like you're not hands-on exactly, but you're thinking of what could we do? Maybe there's a way to take this.
Let me tell you the most important thing I do for them. In my dreams, I'd be doing engineering out in Salt Lake City, but I live in Los Gatos, California, and what I really do is I admire the way they make design decisions. I met the founders first, and I was stunned. I mean, I would never join a company in my life, but I decided I wanted to join this one because they had made design decisions the way I used to make in the early Apple products, to make things the right, good way, with the fewest parts, the shortest distances between an idea in a processor and application, and it affecting onto let's say a hard disk, a storage media. They had made all the right decisions, and I admired them. I told all my friends that, I told my wife that, I told everybody I was with how great that company was, and when they asked me to join, I said, yes, I would love to. Well, I help attract attention to this new technology because that company has done what is basically going to be standard for every server there is in the world. And you walk into any big bank of America, and you say, how many servers do you have? They'll tell you 100,000. You walked into some of the big financial places, we've got 100,000 servers, some of the other huge companies. They had hundreds, these are huge, huge numbers of equipment in our life. And it's going to eventually be a world where there's basically $6,000 server and maybe $100,000 worth of hard cards in it. So the money's going to go more to the storage in the future.
Interesting. All right. Yeah. So let's go back to consumer a little bit. Apple, iPhone versus Android, iOS versus Android. I want to hear your thoughts on this, because that's real red meat for our audience. What's your take on this? I mean, this seems like the new battle between Microsoft and Apple, right? It's now Google versus Apple in the smartphone space because Microsoft is still getting up to speed. RIM is not looking that great right now.
I don't like to be like in a church, in a religion. And I don't want to look at Apple products that way, although they're the best. They're the heart of my life. The ones I love the most. So
you pray the church about it.
And I do, unfortunately, I have a little bit of a desire for Apple, so I'm sorry to see that Android happened. Android is good. The trouble is, Android's good. And one of the things that's good about Android is it has, although it may not necessarily have the user experience that an iPhone has that makes the iPhone so popular, they have a lot of new features, different features than we have. We have some good features, they have some good features. And I like to explore both sets and find out what I like about these phones and then I have a better idea of where the smartphones are going in the future. And there's some things on Androids that, have come to the Apple a little bit and will probably come to the iOS, in the future.
So what kind of phone are you using right now? What do you have on you?
Both. I have a couple of iPhones on me.
On you right now?
Yep.
You have 2 iPhones?
Yep. Solves the battery problem.
There's a white iPhone here. Where'd you get the white iPhone? Those actually aren't for sale, right?
I actually had dinner last night with the guy here in New York, a young teenager in high school who sold the parts over online. And I got on as quick as I could and ordered them, and I got lucky. I got my parts. A friend of mine missed out on getting his.
Apple's going after this guy.
It's a beautiful, beautiful phone, actually. I paid good money. In other words, I didn't get something for free that I'm supposed to pay for. And, well, they do have Apple logos on. Apple made the parts, kind of. And somebody at Foxconn in China disobeyed a instruction to destroy them, I'm sure. They're bad parts. It takes bad flash photos. The proximity sensor doesn't work, so your head is pressing against the screen, going beep beep, pushing buttons. It's a substandard phone.
So do you think that's why they're not available, the white iPhones?
No, they're going to become available. All the indications are from Verizon and GSM suppliers, white iPhones are coming. But these parts the early parts Apple made were defective, so Apple decided not to actually put them out. Well, somebody found some parts. And
A lot of
a
parts.
few of them, they didn't steal from me, they gave me something I wanted, a chance to get it. I mean, I'd happily return it to Apple if they asked, and I'd give them all the money back too. I would pay the money the second time. It doesn't make sense.
Well, you get the paycheck, so it all works out.
No. This kid is so just young, and he kind of didn't know that what he's doing is legal. He goes to a high school, and he's the only guy in his whole high school who reads the gadget blogs. Not one other gadget person there.
That's it. Listen, people. Tell everybody in high school to read gadget blogs.
And you know, everybody young wants to be an entrepreneur these days. And here's somebody that just went out and did something. He went over a line, slapped his wrist, should be put down. They want to take all the money back that he made, you know, to put himself through school and help his family. Yeah, the lawyers are dealing with him. And I think this is one case where, if there's ever a case where a lawyer could be nice, be nice. But, you know, as long as there's a set I'd be willing to donate to his defense fund if one gets set up, and maybe one will. Oh, absolutely.
Maybe start looking at your
This guy's
bank account.
He's not like a criminal type. He's not a criminal type. He's very shy. He's almost afraid to talk to anyone. Very hard to bring conversation out of, and he just kind of did a great thing in one sense, if it had been legal.
Right. There's just that one small problem. So you think these parts were manufactured for, specifically to be used in a production run of white iPhones?
Yes,
and
Apple introduced the white iPhone. Maybe some of us don't have memories of a few years back, but they introduced the white iPhone 4.
A few years.
The white iPhone 4, yeah, was on stage, but it never came out. It got dropped. Where did it go? Well, it was intended, but there were all sorts of reasonable rumors or assumptions that the parts weren't good. They had a problem.
Are you telling us right now that you know this for a fact?
What?
Do you know that for a fact? That's
no, what? I don't know anything.
The parts are bad.
These parts are bad, yes, because the first thing I did when I got them, I had read that they had bad flash. I took a picture with flash and without. The one with flash was awfully, like you took it through cellophane. So then I took one with my white iPhone and my black iPhone using flash, and the white one was much worse. So yeah, I compared right away. I would like to self-test.
And the proximity sensor is screwed up. So
basically, it's a product that doesn't even have, and I violated my warranty. So Apple should almost not care. The guy didn't cause us any problems. You've never seen these white phones. You know, the only other one I really saw, as I was flying out here from San Francisco Airport, a guy coming off of a plane. Oh, Mr. Wozniak, can I take my picture with you? He's a Brazilian. And he had a white iPhone to take the picture with.
Where did that come from?
Well, he got it from the same source.
The illegal source. Okay, so
you guys like TechCrunch, don't you?
We love TechCrunch. They're a part of the family.
I guess that's where the guy got put on that he had these parts, and that's how I ordered it.
Oh, you saw it on TechCrunch?
I think so, somewhere. I saw it somewhere, yeah.
You wrote about it too.
Then I saw it on Engadget.
So I understand that you carry around a dumb phone with you, don't you? Don't you have like a Razor?
No, I have an Android phone, a Droid X in my other pocket, and I carry
right now.
Yes, and I have a Verizon. It's Verizon.
Yeah.
So if AT&T isn't working, it's Verizon and it's a MiFi built in. I pay for that.
But you don't have didn't you used to carry a Razor or something that was kind of a dumb phone?
Yes, for quite a while. I actually liked having the smartphone of the iPhone and a Razor for my phone calls. And it actually worked. It was a life that worked very well. I strung out the Razor longer than almost anyone, and I actually liked it very much.
But you got rid of it.
I finally did. Yeah.
You replaced it with the Droid X.
The iPhone, there were just too many things, phone calls, that the Razor methods and texting didn't work as well as the iPhone.
Right. Well, it is a Razor.
I've had Blackberries. I've replaced it with a couple of Blackberries. I've had the Palm Pre is kind of cute because the Palm Pre is the cheapest MiFi you could buy at Verizon for quite a while.
Right.
They sell a MiFi that's $50 a month. The Palm Pre with a data plan was $30 a month. That's all you'd have to pay, and it had a free MiFi built in. Yes, that was actually cheaper. And I never found anyone else who discovered that.
Kind of a Palm Pre.
So I had a Pre. Well, the Pre battery only lasts about an hour, and the MiFi lasts 4 hours.
That's a little bit of a problem if you're using a hotspot for it to just die after an hour.
Yeah.
So let me ask you about, so let's get away from smartphones for a second. Who in tech, what are you seeing now that you feel is really innovative? I mean, like stuff like the Kinect is coming out, which is all kinds of crazy motion gaming stuff. I mean, what do you see as being truly innovative in your eyes?
The big changes over time in computers of all the eras from back when it was vacuum tubes and punch cards. It's basically input-output, how it connects to a human being. How do you actually use it, you know? And we got past punch cards, we got to our little terminals with the personal computers, we got to mouses and GUI. That means the display and the input and the output were changing different ways. And now we've gone a step further. We've gone to touch. We went to trackpads, and now we went to touch screens. A lot of that's changing, but I think the biggest change in the future is going to be voice. Bill Atkinson, at the recent Macworld, I believe, commented that really the future of the smartphones is voice control.
Really?
Maybe all computers.
People just talking to the phones.
I always thought that voice control was never going to be understood well enough to be satisfactory,
right.
And now I'm totally convinced it's.
So you think so? We're going to get into an era where everybody's just like screaming at their phones.
Talking very softly, because when I'm in a big loud concert, you can hardly hear yourself, you can't hear the guy next to you. I can speak into, well, the Nexus 1 had the best noise canceling of all these phones I tried. And the Nexus 1, I would speak into, I don't know, call Joe's Diner on First Street. And normally your voice goes up and down, up and down. It'd be a big brick. And they send it off to Google, and Google would send it back and get every word right. I mean, it just blows me away that it does it in noisy environments, and it figures out by context what you've said. You know, you can't have spelling mistakes. You don't have to follow a set of procedures. I got to type here and click there, and then I do this, and I do this, and I get my thing, my text message sent. I can just pick up my phone and say, text Janet, here I am at the Engadget interview, period. And it does it.
So you think